anybody a different answer or a different way to get there in one of them? Alicia. Okay, for which answer?
182.
Okay.
I did the list strategy, so I did 10 times 10 to get 100, and then 3 times 10 to get 30, 4 times 10 to get 40, and then I did 4 times 3 to get 12. And then I added the rest that I got. And then I got 100.
Anybody else a different strategy or a different answer? Okay, so I've got 2 ways to get to 182 and 1 way to get to 112. Can anybody give me some evidence of something that needs to be done for one of them? Sydney.
She didn't do, if she was going to do that strategy, she would have to do 3 times 10 and 4 times.
Why?
Because you have to multiply all of the numbers.
Okay. How do you know that you have to do that? Help her out, Tristan.
You know you have to do that because the multiplication break apart, you always have to, whenever you split them up, you do the times with the same number. Like, say you split up 23. You still have to do 20 times 3 to get the correct answer.
If you're breaking apart 20 and 3, are you multiplying the 2 pieces together? Like in this one, Aiden split the 13 into a 10 and a 3. Did you multiply the 10 and the 3 together?
I thought it was a completely different example. I was doing a completely different example.
Well,
the correct example would be in this, for this problem, using as an example, they're both 10, so those 2 10s don't just multiply against each other 10 times 10. The 13's 10 also has to multiply 10 times 4, and the 14's 10 also has to multiply 10 times 3.
why? Y'all are telling me the rules, but why? Ben?
They have to because if you're doing that, the 4 is only multiplying times by the 3 and not the 10 into 13, and so it's not multiplying all that it's supposed to be. Because if Aiden was doing his strategy, he broke apart 13 into 10 and 3. Well, he could have made it easier, but he'd also have to break the 14 into 10 and 4. He couldn't just do 10 times 10, 4 times 3, because they're not multiplying the full number they're supposed to be doing. Like 14 would have to multiply all of 13, not just the 10 and 4.
But if she did the 10s and the 10s place and the 1s place, isn't she using all of the number?
Yes, but she's not multiplying the numbers by all the numbers of the other numbers.
But how do you know you need to?
Because once you told us the strategy, when you do a grid...
Okay, but because you told me to isn't good enough. But why?
Because you're not multiplying the full number they're supposed to be doing.
Shoot.
I know by the answer because if you do 12 times 12, it would be 144, and 14 times 3 is a lot bigger than that.
Okay.
So that's one way to kind of take a look.
You have 12 times 12 memorized is 144. You know both of these numbers are bigger, so our answer should be the bigger answer. So that's a good way. But how do you know that you have to multiply all 4 pieces?
Because you have 2 digits in each number.
Yeah.
Like you have a tens place and ones place in each number. So you have to multiply it crisscross.
Why?
Because when you like for example, when you use a list strategy and you multiply it by crisscross, you're actually multiplying by the whole answer. Because if there's if each number, if there's 4 digits, then there's 4 ways to multiply.
4 ways?
4 multiplication equations.
Okay. Why? But why? I know I made 4 digits and there's 4 digits because I made it. But why do you have to multiply it 4 times? Other than just because you said so 6 months ago. Take it all.
To get the whole number, like the full number instead of.
But how do you know you need to do that to get the full number? Being picky. Think back when we first started doing this, we did some models to prove why we needed to do multiplication this way, right? Area models. We broke up the tens and the ones places and we showed by multiplying each section that was getting us to the whole. So you talked about how we needed to break it up into the place values, and that was the why. Because we talked about when you multiply just, let's say, 4 times 3, and we did it way back with the base 10 blocks, you're going to end up with stuff in that square, right? So then when we broke it into the bigger pieces, it's going to end up with we ended up having 4 chunks with the base 10 blocks. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay. That's the why. That's going back to the why of it. You can't just say because I told you so, or okay? Because on the milestones, when you're answering those constructed responses the next couple of days, my teacher said blah, blah, blah is not an explanation. You have to go back to the why. Why did we figure all of this out at the beginning of the year? Why did we start with these picture models and using blocks and things like that? Because that's why that's the way to figure it out. Okay? So we were going way back. 10 times 10 is 100, 40, 30, and there's our 12. Too many. And you put all of those together. That's the why, getting back to that concrete of all of this. Not because it's crisscross or because there's 4. Those are all the tricks of how you figured out how to get there. Okie dokie? Okay, let's try one more. What number did you get?
205.
205. Remember, no and in there because there's no decimal. Anybody with a different number, you still have a thumb up. Connor, what's your number?
360.
Okay. Ethan?
520.
Layla?
Wait.
Okay. Jane?
400.
More agreement there. Any more thumbs? I'm not seeing. Tristan?
390.
390. Any more? Okay, so my 205, give me your strategy.
I found my mistake.
So you want to change your answer? Which one are you going to agree with then?
I agree with,
Or do you need to think it out since we found a mistake?
think it out.
Okay, think it out for a second. My 360, give me your strategy.
I broke apart the 330